This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for being here tonight. And this is Paul Lozick. And we're going to talk a little bit about redox. Appreciate you guys that are online and the people that are here today. I know we have some people that are listening for the first time. So what are we doing here? Why are people gathering? Why are people listening to us online? Basically, we have something that is of such great importance. We feel that everybody needs to know about it. And so the way we tell people about it is through people. And so we need more people to understand, mute. We need more people to know what this is. And we need more. We need more people to know what this is and to be able to share this with other people. So we're searching for people that want to change their lives. You know, we talk about a product line, and there's not a lot of people that are interested in products. And we talk about a business, and there's a lot of people that aren't really interested in the business. So why should anybody listen to what we're talking about? And the truth is, out there in the world today, it's a real mess. And I don't care who you talk to, people are struggling with all kinds of different issues. And what we have today actually is a solution to almost any issue that you can name. And so what we do is we try to talk to people about the big picture. We have a product, we have a business, there is the possible income for some people that are interested, but what we have really is a solution that's bigger than that. So we're looking for people that want to change their lives. All right. Some people need to improve their health. Some people want to keep their health. Well, we have a technology that we're going to talk about that has potential to do all of that and a lot more. And it's very different than anything else that you might be thinking about right now. It's very different. Some people don't have control of their schedules. They are literally ruled by the 8 to 5 every day. Got to be at work, got to get up, got to go, got to come, can't go on vacation. Other people tell me what to do, when to do it. Somebody else has control of my schedule and my time, right? Some people are really struggling with debt, right? We got inflation, we got all kinds of things going on. People are out of control. Some people are worried about how they're going to make it next month. We have people that really don't have the time for things that matter the most. And we have a way for you to actually regain control of your time. Now, it's not a no-brainer. It takes some work. It may take months or a couple of years, but you can regain complete control of your time if you're willing to put in the effort. And then we have people that are really interested in getting over that financial hump. They don't want to have to think about money anymore. They would like to create a residual or a passive income that will allow them to say, that's in my past, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And then there are some people that would really like to impact the world. So we don't know who you are. We don't know what your particular reason is for doing this or for looking at this. So we're going to talk to you in general about all of these different things. I'm going to go ahead and open this thing up. Hopefully this will all work. There we go. That's why I couldn't see it. All righty. So is that changing on the screens, guys? No. It's not changing. Okay. We're going to try this again, guys. Just give me a second. We sometimes have these interesting issues. Share screen. Okay, so talking about some things that really changed our world. All right. There are things that come along in history from time to time that make such a major impact on the world that a lot of people make a lot of money, and it's something that changes our society, impacts cultures, impacts the nations around the world. And here's some examples of this. Basically, penicillin changed the world. The invention of cars, think about it, from horses to cars, changed the world. Airplanes, transportation, right? The radio, all of a sudden having somebody talking in your house from a faraway distance, bringing you news, information. The television, where we could all of a sudden see things going on around the world inside of our own house. It allowed people to begin to market to us in our own house. I mean, it changed everything. It changed everything. It was subtle, but it has changed everything about the way we act and live and so on and so forth. Cell phones, speaking of, cell phones changed everything in our lives. And once we had cell phones, all of a sudden, now we're in communication with the world. The world can reach us anywhere we are. It changed everything. All right. And then the internet, without which now we would really be struggling. The internet has changed everything. But my point is this: when a major change occurs like this, there is an opportunity for some people to get involved on the financial side, but there's also major changes that are going to happen throughout the world because of this. So did that change? Okay, thank you. So here's another major change that's coming. All right, this is a major change that's coming. Every time this happens, there's a ripple that forms into a wave that forms into a tsunami. All right. And in the world we live in today, with all the communications, these things happen faster, they happen quicker. And so here's a wave. This is called stabilized redox signaling molecules. This is the wave we're talking about. It's new technology that's emerging. It's about health. We're going to talk about it in a minute. It's being studied around the world, in case you're thinking, well, this is just something, another one of those things. No, this is being hailed as the thing. It's anti-aging, something that everybody is interested in. It's cell regeneration, which speaks to basically health, right? The bottom line for all diseases is what happens in our cells. If you can regenerate cells and cause them to be renewed or replaced or repaired, then you're now dealing with the source of most of the physical problems that we're dealing with. We're just talking just now, Felix, right? You had an issue, right? These are things that we can avoid if we know about how to make those changes in our lives. And then every cell in your body needs this that we're going to talk about. But interestingly enough, every cell in your body has been producing it since you were born. So this is not a discovery that man invented. This is something we found out about that's always existed. All right. So these signaling molecules, these mysterious things, were first discovered in the 1990s. And they began to study them because they knew that they were there, they could observe them, but they didn't know what they were. They didn't know what they were for. So they almost thought that it was like a garbage byproduct of the cell making energy using nutrients that we consume, right? Making energy, ATP. But they soon found out that these were critical parts to life. This is the internet of your body. This is what allows you to function, think, walk, talk, and stay alive, right? And so the first Nobel Prize was given in 1998 to these three guys for the discovery of one of these signaling molecules called nitric acid, or I'm sorry, nitric oxide. And so that was the first one that they discovered. And then from that time on, we're going to look at this picture. Here's the 24th International Conference on what? Redox medicine. Well, if you do the math, 24, we're in 2023, back it up 24 years, you're going to be right at 1998 when the first Nobel Prize was put out. So since that Nobel Prize happened, there's been 6 more Nobel Prizes for this technology. The whole world is studying it. This is an international conference in Paris, France, in June of this year, where scientists and doctors from all over the world came and began to talk about, give information about, show studies about this incredible technology that's been discovered. And it's something that they're learning more and more about all the time. And you say, well, I don't know about it. Maybe it's something that just a few people are talking about. This is the pubmed.gov website. It belongs to the National Institute of Health, the NIH. I typed in up there at the top, you can see up there, redox signaling, right? And I got 38,342 results. That means there's over 38,000 published medical studies on redox signaling, right? And if you look at the little graph with the red arrow over there, it says they knew about this in 1953, but you can see nobody was really interested in it. But all of a sudden, look at 2023, the last few years, the amount of studies has gone straight up like a rocket. All of a sudden, this is being looked at all over the planet, right? Here's another one. This is Google Scholar, not Google Search, Google Scholar. Typed in redox signaling up there at the top. You can see that. I got 2,910,000 results. These are medical studies that the NIH says you can publish them on this website that talk about redox signaling molecules. And you can type in redox signaling and you name the condition, and it'll pull up thousands of articles that talk about that particular condition and how this knowledge they believe is going to really help with those types of conditions. For those that are new, we do not name medical terms. We don't talk about diseases. We don't talk about medications, because as you'll see in a minute, we're not an FDA approved drug. Therefore, we can only talk in general terms. All right. So this stuff is being studied. This stuff is being talked about. But back in the 1990s, there was a lot of companies working on how to produce this outside of the human body, because they found that it was being made in every single human cell. So they wanted to reproduce it outside the body so that they could use it, maybe to make a drug, maybe to make a medicine or something with it. And companies spent millions and dozens of years trying to figure this out. Well, a few of them did figure out how to reproduce this outside the body, but none of them could stabilize it. Remember I told you, Luisa, you walked out there in that moment. We said the big deal that we're talking about is not just redox signaling molecules, but stabilized redox signaling molecules. So nobody could stabilize this outside the body. It would only last for a couple of minutes. But these people right here, they got hold of the technology and they were able to stabilize these molecules outside of the human body. Well, what happened when they did that was universities and pharmaceutical companies from all over began to approach them to see if this was real. Once they found out that it was real, they were amazed, because they had been working on this for many, 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 many years and were unable to do this. The NIH had funded millions and millions of dollars to all kinds of labs and schools and universities to try to do this, and no one was able to do it. But these people were able to do it. Vertus Norton, who was basically, still is alive, a genius who brought Kraft Foods from being just a small company to being the largest food distribution, if you will, company in the world. Vertus Norton got a hold of this technology and he brought a team of scientists in, and they were able to stabilize these redox signaling molecules. And when he did, he showed it to the world, and the biggest pharmaceutical company around out of Israel came in and offered him what we would have to call generational wealth, to write a check so big with so many zeros. And they said, this is so you will hand over all of the technology, all of the research, everything you have, and give it to us and shut it down. And don't talk to anybody else about this. We want it. He had one problem. He said, I have 40 people we've been giving this to who were very ill, and now they're doing very well. And they've shared it with a bunch of other people. And now those people have shared it with people. And it's now in it's in 20 or so countries around the world. And there's over 100 people using this stuff. And they're getting incredible results when they've been told they had no other options. And he says, I have a real issue with turning this all over to you. And they said, well, if you want the money, that's what you're going to have to do. And he said, what are you going to do with it? And they basically said, we're going to bury it. So he thought to himself, that's not a good thing. This is something everybody needs to know about. So he said, there's the door, guys. He kept it, And he founded in 2009 this small company called Asea up in Utah. Now, Asea is a cellular technology company. For the last 13 years, they have been working with this technology to figure out how these signaling molecules interact with the body and how to use them for the benefit of humanity. And so this company was formed. They are now in 33 countries around the world, and they have decided not to sell this in a store. One of the reasons is if this blue bottle were on the shelf and you saw it and you saw the ingredients and it says here, water and sodium chloride, you probably would not buy it. Well, that's because people have salt water at home and they don't need to buy more. But this is no longer salt water. It's saltwater technology. It was salt water, and it has now been changed chemically into another substance. So this requires an explanation. So Virtus, being a genius in marketing, he decided he was going to put this in the hands of people like us to share with the world. So he created basically from a cellular technology company, a group of people who would create networks of people that would share this around the world. And so we are in a networking business. So at the beginning of this, I said, we are looking for people who want to change their lives, right? Their health, maybe get back their time, maybe be able to spend more time with people that are important to them, do something with their lives that is maybe impactful, whereas right now, maybe they are so stressed out for time, for money, for everything, they can't do that. This offers an opportunity, and that's what we're going to talk to you about a little bit. So first, we're going to discuss health just a little bit. Some of the things that Delia and I have learned in the last 17 months about health is it's not a one-step process. There's multiple parts to health. For example, we've learned that we need to be drinking every day half our body weight in ounces in water every day. And if we're not, we are causing a lot of the problems that we're dealing with in our bodies. So if I weigh 200 pounds, I need to be drinking 100 ounces of water every day. And if I'm not, then I'm causing problems that are going to manifest. I need to be getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night, good sleep. If I'm not, that's when my body's repairing itself. Then I am causing many of the problems that I'm going to be dealing with further down the road. I need to be getting nutrients. Nutrients is not necessarily a Whataburger, all right? Nutrients are actually things that are in food that are good for you. And a lot of the things we do not have nutrients in them or have so few that they're not doing us much good. So the company has come up with a line of nutrients that are very, very high quality, plant-based, natural. And these are the things that your body requires in order to fix and repair and replace cells that are damaged. And if you're not giving your body the right nutrients, then you're going to suffer down the road sooner or later. So remember, this is a cellular health company. So we're going to talk about the redox in a moment, but they have also decided if we're not getting the nutrients, then we're going to be missing part of the formula for our health. So water we can get at home, sleep, that's something you got to deal with, right? The nutrients they're providing, the redox signaling molecules are things that they're providing. And the other thing that you have to learn to do is you have to learn to control the stress in your life. If you are stressed out or if you are letting stress overwhelm you, then you can be doing all these other things and you're probably still going to be creating a problem for yourself down the road. So these are things that we have learned listening to people over the last 17 months that are very, very good at this. So this company went ahead and developed a couple of different lines of products over the last 13 years. They've developed the redox signaling molecules that are stabilized in a liquid form, and they've also put it into a gel form. They've created the line of nutraceuticals, the nutrients that we can buy from them, or you can get it from some other high quality producer. We buy it from ourselves, because we get paid when we buy from ourselves. Makes more sense to me than buying it from somebody else's business. I don't know about you guys. They also created a skincare line, which I don't have up here today, but you can see it on the screen. They have dealt with cellular health for a long time. The reason this is called Renew 28 is they have figured out that when you're a young person, your skin cells renew automatically every 28 days. But as we age, that takes longer and longer and longer. So at 68, I start looking like an old guy. I got blemishes and spots and wrinkles and stuff, and everything's not renewing the way it used to before. So they have something called Renew 28 that actually allows my skin cells to begin to renew again every 28 days. So they are, remember, a cellular health company. So they're working on all these things. They've also come up with these, I don't know what we can call them, but they're these 3 different powders that are made up of natural plant-based ingredients that are particular, specific to feed your brain so that you can maintain healthy brain cells and to produce energy and to help your mood. Mood being, I'm stressed, I'm over anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I'm about to flip out, I want to go hide somewhere, I don't know what to do. That's stress, that's being overwhelmed. So they have got 3 product lines that you can mix into a liquid that will feed your cells specifically to help you deal with new brain cells, with mood issues, and with energy issues. And it's natural energy. It's not the stuff that you get in these other products that you see in stores that just dump a bunch of caffeine and sugar into your body. So there's more stuff coming out, we're told, because these people are working since 13 years to understand what the heck is happening inside our cells. So all that said, I need to give you this notice here. This has not been evaluated by the FDA. We are not a drug. Therefore, we cannot claim to cure or heal or in any way prevent any disease. What we are saying is if you give your body back what it already knows what to use, these signaling molecules, and if you put the nutrients back into your body, and if you do these other things, your body was made by God to heal itself. And so given the right conditions, your body can recover from almost any situation. And that's what we're dealing with, okay? So we're going to look at some pictures, some stuff, some people. So the picture says it all. This is a lady before and after 4 weeks using the Renew 28 on her face. All right. So I don't think I need to say too much. Anybody that would see this change occur in their skin, they would be amazed and they would not want to go back. All right. So we have something that can do this on the outside of your body. And we need to just think about if this is happening on the outside and we're also putting this on the inside, what is going on the inside? Are our cells also being renewed on the inside? And the answer is yes. Here's a lady that had a really, really difficult problem on her face. We can't mention the condition, but you can imagine it. They were bad cells, cells that you do not want on your face. So she had them surgically removed, left a huge scar. So from March until August, she used the Renew 28 on her face. Do you see the scar on the right? It's there, but it's very, very faint. This is a good thing. This lady's life has been impacted, right? Do we know anybody going through issues like this on their skin, on their body, that we can help? All right, that's what this is all about. Here's another lady. She's 84 years old in the picture on the left. She looks very unhappy. And her son gave her some of the liquid and some of the gel and said, Mom, use this stuff. I think you need it. And she used it for 7 weeks. Look at the difference in her face, right? I tell people, I know you may be doubtful. That's fine. All I want you to ask yourself is, if this is real, that's a really big deal. That's a really, really big deal. And then over here, fast forward to the right, 8 years later, same lady, now 92 years old. Look at her demeanor. Look at her face. She's not the same. Something's happened to this woman, right? Everything's changed. Her life has been impacted in a positive way. All right. This young man we're about to show you was 12 years old. We had his grandmother who lives in Kerrville. This kid's in Mexico. He suffered a bug bite. I'm told we can't mention the type of bug anymore. So he had a bug bite, and within a few days, he was comatose in the hospital. This is a video of him. And he was comatose for 17 days. And this thing was eating his body from the inside out. I mean, I'm sorry for you guys that are eating, but but this thing was eating this boy alive. And the doctors in Mexico said there is nothing that can be done for him. Nothing. And this is this boy. His parents got him some of this, Renew 28. They would not let this in the hospital because they didn't know what it was. They snuck this in. They rubbed it on him. He was comatose for 17 days. Doctor said nothing can help him. He woke up after a few days. We know the grandmother and we know the mother, Alma and Olga. And they rubbed this stuff on him, and all of a sudden his eyes opened and he said, "Tengo hambre. I am hungry." And then he began to recover rapidly. Now he's out of the hospital. Yes, they amputated some of his toes. He's had to go through all kinds of rehab, but this kid literally was dead. And he's alive now. What happened? Well, the only thing they know is they put this stuff on him. Okay. This gentleman here, we met him at a hotel up in Dallas. He was not part of this conference we attended. The lady in blue had met him the day before in an elevator. She said to him in the elevator, "You look like you're in pain." He said, "I am. I live in this hospital, in this hotel almost, because my hospital's next door. I fell off a building 7 years ago, fractured my head, my spine, my neck. I've been living in incredible pain. This is where I come to go to the hospital on a regular basis, and I am, yes, in pain." She says, "Stick out your hand." She put some of this on his fingers. She made him apply it 3 times on his neck in a few minutes. And then as they walked down the hall, he all of a sudden, he's telling us the next day in this conference, he said, "My pain went away for the first time in 7 years." He said, "More incredibly, I slept that night without any melatonin, without any of the medications I've been taking for years. No pain, slept all night." He said, "More incredibly, this morning I got up for the first time in years with no pain." He goes, "I don't know who you are. I don't know what this stuff is. All I know is that I have no pain." Major impact on this guy's life. Okay. Rose, Rose Monday, she is right now the head coach for U.S. Olympic track and field. She was also the women's track and field coach, I think, in 2020 in Tokyo. She is a track and field athlete, 400 meter, 800 meter, and now she's older. And in 2017, she had a major jaw issue. We can't mention it, what it is, but she couldn't chew very well. And her dentist applied some of this Renew 28 and the pain went away. And she said, "What the heck is that?" And so she found out about it because she had two knees that they were about to replace. Best doctors in San Antonio, Texas, from the San Antonio Spurs said, bone on bone, you've done wore out all the cartilage. And she said, give me a couple of months. So she started drinking the liquid. And within a few months, she went back. She said, I got no pain. They looked and said, we don't understand it, but there's some stuff growing between your bones now. And so she has not had to have her knees replaced. We still know her. She's a regular with Jim Glenn. They just did a show at her house last week. And she is a living, walking, breathing, well-known testimony to the power of redox signaling molecules. And the doctors can't understand it. They can't understand it. Okay. And so this gentleman right here is a veterinarian, and he was being laughed at by his friends when he told them about the Renew 28, other doctors, right? And so he did this test. He applied for 28 days, the Renew to half his face, and on the other half, he did not. I'm kind of nearsighted, but I can even see that. I mean, it's a major difference, right? This guy had cells on this side of his face that renewed and regenerated, and on the other side, they did not. It's clear as glass, right? And I tell people, if this is true, this is a really big deal. This is a really big deal, all right? You guys all remember Janice. We had her on here live. She is a medical practitioner, nurse practitioner, and her sister is the one doing the talking in this video. But Janice, nurse practitioner for 25 years, told us, hey, I'm the one that teaches the doctors what to do, right? This is a really smart medical person. She had this condition where she shook so bad that she could not hold a glass to her lips. She could not write legibly for years. And this video.
Okay, Paul, this is my sister who has essential tremors.
Not supposed to
She's
say
holding her cup. Her hand is practically completely still, and her head tremors have completely subsided. And so maybe she said occasionally she gets a little tired, but you know, they're just gone, and she's sitting here just as still as can be. So I thought you'd like to have this little testimonial. And there's the other hand. And she hadn't been able to write clearly in years, and that has improved greatly. So praise God.
So Janice came on one right here amongst y'all. I don't know if you remember, and gave her testimony about this and told us some other stuff that I'm not going to get into that was pretty interesting. All right. So here's a website, Real Redox Results, where there's over 100 of these testimonials, videos of people who had real life conditions. And over on the left, you see all those blue buttons, accidents, allergies, animals. You look down here, prostate. I see mental clarity, memory. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on there. Those are buttons. You can touch them. They'll take you to the videos that have that information about those people on there. So you can go to Real Redox Results. You do need a password. It's Redox, and we can give that to you. That's not a problem. Yeah. And so it's pretty powerful. I tell people, okay, if this is real, what? This is a really big deal, guys. If it's not, hey, it's really an elaborate, scheme to mess with your mind. But this is real. This is real, guys. Okay, we go through the notice one more time. This is not an FDA approved product. We do not claim to heal, cure, fix any kind of disease or anything. This is nothing more than putting back into your body what your body already produces normally. All right. The problem is, as we age, our bodies produce less and less of it. In fact, science now tells us after puberty, every 10 years, you produce 10% less. So I'm 68. So my tank is at least half empty now. That means my body can no longer produce maybe maximum 50% of the signaling molecules that my body needs in order to maintain my health, in order to fix and repair cells that are going bad inside my body all the time. So I need to supplement if I want to maintain my tank full. so that I can keep my health up. All right. We're going to talk about the other side of the coin right now. There's a lot of people struggling. There's a lot of people that are worried. There's a lot of people that are saying things aren't the way they were back in Leave It to Beaver, you know, and all those wonderful days when there was nothing wrong in the world and everybody was happy, right? It's not like that anymore. You're scared to pick up a newspaper, scared to listen to the news. It's not good. This report says that 50% of us are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, that means 50% of the people you meet on the streets are concerned about what's going to happen next month to them. And if they're in that condition, I'll guarantee you there's some other bad things happening in their lives that they would like to fix. Back to the first slide. We're looking for people that want to change something in their lives. And we have a vehicle to do that. All right. So life is a struggle. I don't think anybody'd argue about that. The guy on the left, he's rowing by himself in a storm against the current with rain and maybe some other ugly things happening. If anything happens to him, if he gets tired, overwhelmed, that boat may sink. He may go down. People on the right, they're still struggling. They're rowing in a hard current, but there's a bunch of them in that boat, and they're rowing together. Together is easier. Together is easier, guys, and that's what we are offering. We're offering a networking option to help people with different kinds of issues, okay? So if you have a job, like this is Robert Kiyosaki's 4 quadrants where money comes from. If you own a job or have a job like these 2 quadrants on the left, you're like the guy rowing in that boat by himself because you're running for your life, because you got to get up in the morning. You got to be there. You got to make it happen. You got to open the door. You got to be at work. You got to solve the problem. You got to shut the doors at the end. You got to make the payroll. You have to. Anything happens to you, that boat can sink. All right. Everything depends on you. All right. Kiyosaki says it's better to be on the right side of the quadrant. It's better if you own a system where the system does most of the work. That is, you have a system with multiple income streams working for you. That's like being in a boat with a lot of people rowing. So if you get tired, you get sick, something happens to you, you lose an oar, whatever, you got a lot of other people that are helping. All right. And if you have enough income coming in, you can actually be an investor where your money is working for you. So on the left, you are doing all the work. On the right, you have a system that does the work, or you have the money that does the work. Okay. These are options that are available to anybody that wants to look into them. So we use this example of leveraged income. A single restaurant like this McDonald's has no leverage. They are a single income stream. They may earn whatever they earn a year, but it all depends on them being open every day. If there's a storm, if it burns down the building, if the employees all go on strike, if something happens, there's a flood, a hurricane, and that restaurant can't open the doors, then there is no income there. That boat sinks. Over on the left, though, you have the McDonald's Corporation. They got thousands and thousands and thousands of restaurants around the world that are all producing food. So if a few of them go bad, it's not a big deal for them. They pull in about $6 billion a year, probably more now, right? Because they have leveraged income. They have a lot of income streams. So you have J. Paul Getty that says, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 1% of my, or than 100% of my own. It just makes sense. It's better to have a whole lot of people rowing than you rowing by yourself. Okay. So when we are working alone, we're limited to about 8 productive hours every day. If Felix and I are cooperating and working together or rowing together, then we have about 16. Y'all give us a second here. Then we have about 16.
Turn this one off.
Yeah, go ahead. Turn that one off.
Hang on, guys. All right, if you guys can mute yourselves, it'd be very helpful because we're getting a lot of feedback, okay? So if you have two people working together, you have 16 productive hours every day. You have twice as many hours in a single day to get more done. And if you have 10 people on a team working together, think about it. Now you got 80 hours in one day to get a lot more work done in a single day. That's just smart. That's just efficiency. That's being productive, okay? And then think about having a team of 100 people located in different countries around the world, all working together towards the same objective. Now we've got 800 hours in a single day that we can get things done. It's just a much better way to work and get things done than doing it by yourself. So networking, which is what we're talking about, allows us to develop an income that no longer depends on our efforts alone, okay? Okie dokie. So now we're talking about business, all right? So business is about the distribution of either a product or a service. Okay, David, you offer a service, right? But if you had to do that globally, there'd be some logistics involved in that, right? If you had to have barbershops all over the world, oh my gosh, it would be a mess, right? So, but it's a product or a service, right? So the business of Asea is global distribution of this very unique breakthrough cellular health technology. That's what Asea does. We are a distribution network, all right? They've created a system, remember Kiyosaki's quadrants, a system that educates people, allows them to access the products, and delivers those products to 33 countries worldwide, okay? We get paid for developing buyer networks. That's what they pay us for. The bigger the buyer volume, the more we are paid. So if I'm working at Walmart 8 to 5 and I'm stressed out because they're not going to let me off for the holidays, they're telling me what kind of clothes I have to wear. They want me to, let's just say there's a lot of rules and regulations they want me to follow that I'm not happy with, right? I have to do it. There's no way I can avoid it because they're my employers. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, gee, I'd really like to not have to do this stuff. Well, the only way that you can avoid that is you have to create some income elsewhere. And so what we're talking about is a plan B where you can create some income that will allow you to supplant or replace that other income so that you can gradually work your way out. And one day you may be able to walk, you know, up to your boss at wherever, Mark, and say, this is my resignation letter. I hope you have a really nice life. See ya. That's possible. All right. And there are people that have that, as hard as it may be to believe in the back of their mind. I want to get out of this job. I want to get out of this routine. I don't want to get up at 5 in the morning anymore. I don't want to have to be told when I can, whatever, fill in the blank. Right. And so we have an option for that. And there's other people that are worried about if they're going to be employed tomorrow because of health reasons, because of changing economies, because of many, many other reasons that you guys all know about. All right. So what Asea does is they're offering a global franchise, When I first heard that, I thought, yeah, but how do I deal globally? Well, for a $40 capital investment, I can own this system. This system basically offers me a product that has no competition on the planet Earth. These are not shoes. This is not clothing. This is not life insurance. This is not anything that anybody else has. We are the only people on the planet Earth that has these products. Nobody else has them. And they've been out on the market for 13 years, and nobody has been able to reproduce these. Nobody. And we have patents and trade secrets that protect this. So you have a unique property or a product that nobody else has. I like that. You don't have to have any employees at all. There's no warehousing of products. You don't have to have a room full of stuff that you're trying to hawk and sell to other people. There's no collections. And there's no distribution of products. That's all handled by the system. There's no selling required. You don't have to sell anything. You can if you want, buy it for 10 and sell it for 15, but you don't have to do that. Why? Because we don't really do that. That's not the business. The business is just sharing information. You want the product? Here's a place you can go get it. All right? It's a website, and then they'll pay me. All right? A business that never sleeps. We're all over the world. So while we're asleep over here on the other side of the world, our partners are awake and they're working. And when they go nighty-night over there, then we're awake over here and we're working. See, we have a business that never sleeps, and we have distribution rights in 33 countries around the world. All right. This is kind of a look at what countries in blue have distribution. Here's some things that are kind of cool. If you look at South America, the only countries in South and Central America right now are Mexico and Colombia. Gee, that means probably in the next few years, all those are going to open up. And then you see other countries around the world where there's no distribution. The potential is unbelievable. They tell us that probably there's less than 300,000 people on the planet Earth right now using this product. Do you think there's still an upside to this? It's like unlimited. It's unlimited. So here's a good story. The fellow with the cap on in the blue t-shirt, Jose Luis, 2016. This was him on call it a farm, a ranch in another country where we were working. And he was a fireman and a rescue guy that went and pulled people out of wrecks on the freeway. And he was also a beekeeper. So we had a bee problem. So he came over and helped us with our Africanized bees. We got to know him. He got to be a friend, and he hung out with us a bunch. Well, he had to move out of in a sweat. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. He had to move out of that country a number of years ago. So he moved over to Colombia, right? And in Colombia, he was basically dead broke. He was cleaning up dog poop at a place where they drop dogs off during the day. And he was really struggling to eat. And we shared this business with him. How long ago? But maybe 8 months ago or so. In Colombia, he didn't have a penny to his name. Oops. Well, this is Jose Luis today. He's now got a distribution network in Colombia, in Florida, in Mexico, and he is receiving money every Friday. And he has an income. He just bought us, he showed us he just bought an airline ticket to fly back to his country for Christmas. And he's got gifts and stuff to take back. See, this has impacted his life. This has changed somebody's life, guys. And this can change your life. All right. This is basically just an income disclosure statement from 2020, says down there. Got a lot of numbers on it. Just look at the column marked with the red. These are monthly incomes that the company shares with people who have developed distribution networks. So the very top one, 345 bucks there, that's a director. Think about, he's a guy in a little boat with a few people in there. They're all buying the product and using it. So they got a little bit of volume. So they're getting paid according to that volume. But this guy maybe gets some more people in the boat, more volume, right? He's a director 300. Now they're paying him about 450 bucks a month, right? His boat gets bigger, more people, because people in the boat know other people he didn't know. They tell some people and they tell some people, more people in the boat. They got to get a bigger boat. They're a 700. Now they're looking at about $1,200 a month. And you see how it grows. 1,900, 3,500, 6,900, 10,000 plus owned down there, $122,000 a month. And we know of people making more than that. Okay. Unlimited, uncapped income. It's up to you. How big of a distribution network do you want? So you say, I don't know anybody. Yeah, you do. You know people on your phone, you know people you meet every day, and then there's strangers you've never met. Somewhere amongst them are 3, 4, 5 people that are praying for this. And if you find them, because you ask people, are you one of them? 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 And finally you find somebody that says yes, and you say, welcome to the team, get in the boat. and you keep looking and you find somebody else. Now, those people know some people you didn't know, and they know some people you didn't know. And next thing you know, your system, your distribution network is in other countries. Next thing you know, there's a whole bunch of people in your boat, on your team, creating volume that you're getting paid for that you never met, never will. And over the years, as this becomes well known around the world, this is being called the greatest medical breakthrough of our times. Then your network will grow and grow and grow and create an income that you cannot create with any normal job. Okay. If you understood residual income, you would walk through a brick wall to get it. That's income that comes in whether you get out of bed or not. We call it mailbox money. It just shows up in the mailbox. You already work for it, and you don't have to work for it over and over and over. You work for it once, and now you get paid on it over and over. So this is not complicated. Basically, we open an account with Asea and we buy products. You got to buy products. You're not buying products, there's no volume. So you buy products. Then you help others open an account with Asea and buy products. And their aggregate volume plus yours creates more volume, more money. Okay. And then we teach those people to help other people open an account with Asea and buy products. And so it grows and it grows and it grows. And then every Friday, Asea sends you an email and says, we're sending you this much money. And they either deposit it into your bank account or they put it on a Visa card that they send you. Up to you. They do that every Friday. It's a really good deal. I like it. All right. And then when Delia and I got started with this back in June of 2021, we did it because we had an issue. We had aches and pains and things and wrinkles and other stuff we won't talk about. And Jim and Ann Glenn walked into our house because of that fellow over there. And because of him, and it's all his fault, he brought them over. And Jim and Ann told us about their story. And we said, wow, if that's true, that's a really big deal. And so we looked into it and we said, what do we got to lose? So we jumped in, and lo and behold, a few weeks later, we were looking around going, wow, we feel better where things are happening that we didn't expect. And over the months, more things changed, more things got better. We're talking mental clarity, we're talking energy, we're talking pain, we're talking lots of things have changed. And all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing stuff. And so now you're at church or you're with friends or family and they're like, oh my gosh, this hurts, that hurts, something else hurts, or whatever their issue is. And you're like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to tell them about it because they're going to think I'm a crazy person. And you don't want to talk about it, but you can't help it because you like these people. So here's what happened. We got a verse out of the Bible that God, I know, gave to us, whacked us on the head with it. It's in Proverbs 24:11-12, and it says, deliver those who are drawn toward death and hold back those stumbling to the slaughter. If you say, surely we did not know this, does not he who weighs the hearts consider it? He who keeps your soul, does he not know it? And will he not render to each man according to his deeds? And when we read that, we understood and knew that we have been given a responsibility by the creator of the universe to share this with people. And so that is what we're doing. And so when you hear this, you basically have a couple of options. You can be a not yet, number one. I'm not interested right now. I may have some questions. You may be a number two. You may say, I just want to use the stuff. I don't want to tell anybody about it, like Delia and I. We just want to drink this stuff and get better. That's fine. We got a position for you. It's called a consumer. You can just drink the stuff, eat the stuff, and get better and maintain your health. Or if you're number three, you may say, look, I'm pretty busy, but I'd like to start creating an option B income, a side income. So I think I'll start doing this on the side a little bit. Well, good. We've got a position for you. And you can earn a little bit extra on the side, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, whatever you want. You can earn extra income on the side without giving up everything else you're doing. And if you're number four, you may say, this is what I've been waiting for all my life. I'm going to jump into this feet first. I want to have a home-based business. I want to build a global network. I want to have financial freedom. Any one of these things, we got a position for you. And we want people to know that this is a team. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to share. I wouldn't know what to say. Well, that's what the team's for. The team builds your business for you until you can build it yourself, right? And so we don't know. I'm pretty much finished. If somebody invited you to this, please go back to them and get with them and let them tell you what to do next. If you have questions, you can ask them. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share screen. I think it never does go away. And I'm going to stop the recording.